Guest today, Jonathan Harrell from Harrell Automotive is joining us now with our weekly segment, You Auto Know. Jonathan, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here today.
Nice to be here.
Let's get right to the questions. The first question submitted, with colder weather approaching, I usually let my car run a few minutes to help the engine warm up. Now, a friend of mine suggested that this actually takes a toll on the seals somehow. Is there an ideal amount of time to let my engine idle before I start driving on those cold mornings? That question comes in from Scott McKay. What do you say?
You know, with cold weather coming, I do hear a lot of different opinions on that. I hear some people say that you can just turn your car on and go. Some people say that you should let it warm up for 20 minutes to even half an hour. What we find is the best answer is somewhere in the middle. So you want to give your car enough time to start circulating the oil that's down in the bottom of the engine and start lubricating those parts and get a little bit of heat going in it. But if you do let it go too long, that could be damaging to the engine because it's not running at that optimal temperature.
Interesting. Yeah. Are you a car warmer-upper?
You know, I don't know why I punish myself. I just get in.
You just get in cold and go?
Yeah.
I have the remote start, so I'd imagine that they're programmed for the ideal time to run, right?
Yeah, and a lot of that's going to depend on when you start your vehicle with that remote start to give it just a couple minutes to warm up, start getting that oil circulating, and then you'd be good to drive.
Yeah, all right.
I did once go when the windshield was completely covered in ice, and that was a huge mistake, which of course I probably would have been better off
Just
letting my
warming
car
it up.
warm
yeah,
up.
warming it up. All right, great question there. We've got one more question today. How often should oil be changed? I wonder about this all the time. 3,000, 5,000, or 10,000 miles. It seems that this has changed over the year, the policy. Also, does the type of oil matter? Is synthetic better? What do you say there, Jonathan?
Well, you know, that is a question that we get a lot, and it comes down to a lot of different factors, and that's why you see people with a lot of varying answers from 3,000 up to 10,000 miles. And those factors kind of boil down to what your manufacturer of the car recommends, the type of oil that you're driving with, the quality of the filter, and the type of driving that you do. So the best way to get an answer for your use case is to consult with your technician and see what's best for your car and your use case.
Yeah. Check your manual as well, because it'll tell you. What do you normally do? Are you in every 3,000 miles?
Yeah, I get a little red, emergency, and every time I see any light like that, I run right to my technician.
So you wait till your car tells you.
I do.
Yeah.
I trust the equipment.
Yeah. And when you get those alerts, I would imagine that they're giving you that alert in enough time to, it's not going to be a problem tomorrow, that your car is giving you those alerts early, right?
So a lot of manufacturers, they'll have an alert, like you just said, for your oil life. You'll see it start counting down from 100. When you start getting down to the 20, 10%, that's when you want to consider making your appointment, because stuff happens. We all have busy lives, and you could miss that appointment, and you don't want to go too far over that recommended interval.
Yeah, and is the synthetic oil better?
It depends on what the car requires. So synthetic versus a semi-synthetic and a conventional, it's the additives that are in the oil, and your manufacturer of the car is going to design the engine to run at that level of oil. So whatever your manufacturer recommends.
Yeah, so again, check out that manual. Pull it out of the glove box and look it up. I quite often have to do that. Great questions today, Jonathan. Thanks for coming in today. If you've got a question to submit for next week, you can go to ask@youautoknow.org, and then they will go through those questions and pick a couple out for next week, and maybe the next questions will be yours. Jonathan, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you in here today.